Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Report. Now, as always, they tell me don't quit your day job, so here it is Friday morning, and I'm off to my day job. Now, I want to thank everybody for the well wishes and things like that, and the concern about my knee. I appreciate that, but don't worry, I'll be fine. I mean, it's just something I'm used to dealing with. And after a while, you get used to the pain, the needles, and pain pills and stuff like that. But I wasn't doing it for sympathy for me. What I wanted to do is to share with you guys what NFL players go through to stay on the field and what they deal with after. You know, you don't know about the 6 a.m. ice whirlpools, and the treatments and stuff, you know, the needles, the physical therapy, and worse yet, life after football and the shape a lot of these guys are in. And that's where I always said with Tony Romo breaking bones in his back, what is his quality of life going to be 10 years from now when he's retired? Because, yeah, they say, oh, he's healed and ready to play, but healed and ready to play, once you hurt a back or a knee or something like that, it's never the same. And as you get older, it just gets worse. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about today. What I want to talk about is a lot of people wonder why the Dallas Cowboys offense is so dominant. And it's simple. It's evolution. See, football is really a pretty simple game. It boils down to, can you beat the guy in front of you? Bottom line. That's all it comes down to. Yeah, you've got complex offenses, this, that, and the other, but the bottom line is, can I beat the man in front of me and make a play? And see, when you look at football, like when I grew up, football was basically running the ball. It was like a Pittsburgh Steeler, Baltimore Raven, when both of their defenses were good, type of a game. Not a lot of offense, 3 yards and a cloud of dust, as they say, running the ball, and a whole lot of defense. Well, the NFL realized the deep ball was exciting. I mean, who doesn't want to see Odell Beckham reach up and grab a one-handed catch, except for us Cowboy fans? So they tweaked the rules. Well, every time you tweak the rules to get one effect, you have the opposite effect on the other side, because it's looking for a balance. So when they ended up doing the illegal contact, the pass interference, the unnecessary roughness on the quarterback, the incentive then was to throw the ball deep, because we might make the play, especially with these new gloves they have that basically are like Velcro. You might get a illegal contact penalty and get a first down of 5 yards. You might get a pass interference and it becomes a huge play. Or the quarterback might get hit and you get 15 yards and a first down. So offenses are then launching the ball. So remember a few years back when we were seeing 5-6 touchdown passes, with Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers, because they were just lighting the ball up down the field. Well, the defenses countered. And what the defenses did was, the big run-stopping defensive linemen that would plug up the middle, like the Vince Walfers, he's kind of a dinosaur now, kind of went to the wayside. You don't have the William Perrys anymore. Now you have guys that are lean and quick. J.J. Watt is kind of the aberration because he's still a really big guy, but he's very quick. You look at the Texas drafting Jadeveon Clowney mainly because of his speed. The thought was he can get around that edge quicker. Well, it hasn't worked out that well for him. But your linemen have become smaller, faster, more athletic. Well, here's where evolution comes in. We kind of had a reverse evolution with the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys kind of went old school with the running game. The original thought was, you can't run the ball. Running backs are worthless. You don't draft a running back in the first round. They're a dime a dozen because they're not the focal point of the offense. Well, the Cowboys got big, athletic offensive linemen, maulers. And because the defenses had geared up for that passing attack, more cornerbacks and things like that, and smaller, quicker, more athletic defensive linemen and pass rushers, the Dallas Cowboys are able to just maul them because they've got 30, 40 pounds on them. And what you'll notice with the Dallas Cowboys is they get better as the game goes on. You notice how many fourth quarters that we have, we just blow up. First half, we kind of start off bad. The offense doesn't seem geared up. It's because those athletic guys are running around on a full tank of gas. But through the course of that game, when you get a guy who's 40 or 50 pounds constantly pounded on you, you get worn out. So in the second half, those defenses that we're facing are literally beaten down, and that's why you see the Cowboys offense getting better and better in the second half. They stay consistently pounding on you. But it's the defense's guys that can't keep up with that pounding and are basically worn out from running around these guys. And so, friends, that's evolution. What you'll see now is you'll see more teams copying the Dallas Cowboys, getting big athletic offensive linemen. Running backs will become more important again, and then defenses will counter with bigger defensive linemen. So it's kind of interesting. And you always want to be in the front of the change. It's like buying real estate. When the real estate bubble happened, if you got in early and bought, you made a killing. If you're one of those last ones that bought into the real estate market and then it collapsed, you got left holding the bag. And that's how it is now. The Dallas Cowboys are on the beginning of the curve. Defenses are going to adjust. In the next couple of years, it won't work as well. So then you have to evolve to the next thing. So as always, friends, you guys have a great day. Hope you have a happy new year. I may be doing a live stream tonight at 9 o'clock. And we'll see what happens with the Beagles on Sunday. Have a great day.